hope that Trina's feeling better. She wrote that she wasn't feeling up to par. She great to see you. Look very well. Love your blouse. Hey, so great to see you with your hair grown out. You look good. Hello, I'm Lisa. Pam, Ellen. We went to a play together. Great to see you. Robert, nice to meet you, Robert. Good to see you. Oh, camera went over. Great to see you. Hey, oh, great to see you. And that's our fault. That there's too many wires. That's our fault. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, well, nobody mind. It's been an interesting
You,
week.
you know you're home, right? Richard, it's great to see you.
See y'all. See y'all again.
Hey, is that perfect for today?
Oh, yes,
That daily word?
absolutely.
Great to see you. I'm well, and to see Richard, it's great. Thank you. There's a red light that's on here, Cindy. I'm so thrilled to see you, Jennifer. Namaste.
All right.
All right, time to start, huh? Welcome to Unity Baton Rouge, all you beautiful faces of God. Have you ever noticed there's as many different paths to God as there are faces of God? Some of those paths are bedeviling. Whatever your path to God, we welcome you to Unity Baton Rouge, and today to the Centers for Spiritual Living of Southeast Louisiana. I am so thrilled to have Reverend Larry Marie Heil and her congregation here and her CSL singers. We are blessed. We are blessed beyond measure. and we do give thanks for that. And without any further delay, because we've got a lot to accomplish during this hour, I turn it over to Jude Wilson and the CSL singers.
Will y'all please turn in, pick up your tan sheet that has the lyrics for One in the Spirit. Might be on your chair somewhere. Ready?
We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And we know that our unity will this day be restored. And we know we are family by our love, by our love. Yes, we know we are family by our love. We will talk with each other, we will share what we feel. We will talk with each other, we will share what we feel. And the bonds of our friendship will be open and real. And we'll know we are family by our love, by our love. Yes, we know we are family by our love. We will work with each other, we will work side by side. We will work with each other, we will work side by side. And we'll guard each one's dignity and save each one's pride. And we'll know we are family by our love, by our love. Yes, we know we are family by our love.
So whatever your path to be here, you image and likeness of God that you are welcome. We behold the Christ in you and the Christ in each other, and therein lies our hope of glory. Please join me in our welcome blessing. We love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. Who you are makes a difference in our lives, and so it is.
So if y'all like to stand, we're going to sing, if it's in your song sheet, in your bulletin, Get Ready, My Soul, and in this very room.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here, to the present moment here, to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul.
Y'all sound great.
And when we have all that within us and we're open to it, it affects our surroundings. So in this very room is our next song. And there's quite enough love for all of us and all the world.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, one Spirit, is in this very room.
That sounds like a do-over.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, one Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room. In this very room.
Please be seated.
So this is our time for affirmations. And in your bulletin, there is both a CSL and a unity affirmation, but we are all one. So we're going to all speak both of them today. And we'll start with the CSL one. My purpose is already within me, and I am committed to its unfoldment. I am here by divine appointment to join in a community that cares for one another, to be in a place that transforms people's lives, to remember the highest truth about myself, to learn spiritual tools for personal transformation, and thus to make the world a more joyful place.
And unity's first principle, please join me. There is only one presence, one power, and one intelligence, active as the universe and as my life, God the good omnipotence. And we take a moment to begin this service again in prayer. As Janet lights the Christ candle, we recognize the power of prayer to transform our lives. Prayer doesn't change God, that absolute truth of good and love that is always everywhere present. Prayer changes us. And so we take this moment of community prayer, knowing that a small group of committed people can change this world. Indeed, as Margaret Mead says, that is all that ever has. And so while we give thanks for the blessing that the hurricane that is in the Gulf is not headed to us, we surround in prayer our neighbors in Florida. Bringing these prayers closer to home, we realize that all over the world, prayer is needed at this time. We take that hurricane as a symbol that our prayers diminish whatever it is, whatever error thinking, whatever negativity. We direct our prayers to knowing that it is not what happens in this world, but our reaction and what we do with what happens. So while we pray that that hurricane is diminished, we also pray knowing the wisdom, the love, the strength, the faith in all those that are affected by any calamity. We say, thank you, God, for this knowledge. And now we recognize those who we have brought into this service on our minds, on our hearts. And I invite you to whisper into this sacred space the names of anybody that you hold in prayer this morning. And beholding only the Christ in these loved ones, knowing that they have everything they need, every divine power within them to overcome this world and anything that is presented as an opportunity for spiritual growth. We feel in this circle of prayer and love our cup running over, spilling out into the streets of our beloved city of Baton Rouge. And this ever-widening circle of love and light, we see it going forth into all of Louisiana, our United States, and spreading across the seas and the continents until our globe is encircled in this love and this light that we bring, to know that we are the ones, this is the time. We say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mother, Father, God. Amen and amen.
And while we know that prayer is healing, we also know that there's a lot to celebrate in the world. And so I'm going to invite you to just speak out into this room things that you want to celebrate, everybody all at one time.
Now moment, our divinity shared with one another.
And we just take that into our heart and feel that joy. And then I invite you to just open your heart right now and send that joy out to all those people that we were praying for before. Just send those packets of love from your heart to theirs. You don't need to know where they're going because the divine knows how to spread this love that we have in this room to everyone on the planet. And just feel that energy of love circulating the planet, healing whatever needs to be healed, and lifting up whatever needs to be lifted up. So knowing it's done, we just say amen. And so it is.
The Science of Mind, written by Ernest Holmes, has as its opening page a poem entitled Peace Be Unto Thee, Stranger. It provides an excellent philosophy of how to bring peace into our own lives, as well as into the lives of strangers. This was the very first reading on the Center for Spiritual Living Southeast Louisiana opening weekend 10 years ago, so it has special meaning to our congregation. I invite you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and allow your heart to feel the words of this poem. Peace be unto thee, stranger. Enter, and be not afraid. I have left the gate open, and thou art welcome to my home. There's room in my house for all. I have swept the hearth and lighted the fire. The room is warm and cheerful, and you will find comfort and rest within. The table is laid, and the fruits of life are spread before thee. The wine is here also. It sparkles in the light. I have set a chair for you where the sunbeams dance through the shade. Sit and rest and refresh your soul. Eat of the fruit and drink of the wine. All is yours, and you are welcome.
So from that, we move into our time of meditation.
On your song sheet are the lyrics for Pour Yourself in Me. So join all of us together, please.
Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Shine your light in me. Shine your light into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Sing your song in me. Sing your song into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Dance and smile in me. Dance and smile into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit.
So we move into this time of meditation, into this time of communing with the divine. And I invite you just to imagine that you could truly let go of the past. Just release it and forget for a few minutes about anything that's in the future. And just allow yourself to rest in this moment, right here, right now. Allow yourself to open to that divine pouring into you, accepting all that you are, and releasing anything that's holding you back from knowing your own magnificence, from knowing that amazing being that you are, from knowing that you can be the change that you want to see in this world, allowing that flow of the divine through you, just opening to that wisdom of infinite spirit. Hearing how you might discover all of your talents, how you might be able to use them to do amazing things in this world. I ask you to take a deep breath and invite the divine to answer this question for you. What's in store for me that might allow the light of the divine to shine through me? What's in store for me that might allow the light of the divine to shine through me? And just notice the answer. When we ask, we always receive an answer. So we just breathe for a couple minutes. Listen to the divine. And we allow ourselves to return to this time and space to remember what it was we heard, whatever message you might have received, to open yourself to knowing that as you embrace that message, you can live in this world from a place of love and joy.
Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, shine your light in me, shine your light into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, sing your song in me, sing your song into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, dance and smile in me, dance and smile into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit.
I hope you all can feel the divine dancing and smiling within you.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see all these wonderful, bright, and shining faces. And congratulations to CSL on their 10-year anniversary. Let's give them a round of applause. So today, the word of the day is harmony. The affirmation is, harmony is the song of my life. Harmony is an integral part of music, adding layers of intricacy and depth. Without harmony and rhythm, a musical composition would be little more than a dissonant cacophony. Tried to say that 3 times. With the resolution of each chord and the synchronization of every note, a symphony can touch my soul with peace. Similarly, my soul finds peace as I seek a chord in my relationships and every interaction I have. From a place of love and tranquility, I bring compassion to every situation. With the give and take of compromise, I build understanding and trust. I approach every interaction with faith and the expectation of harmonious results. Harmonizing my mind and heart with the world around me, I welcome and do my part to create goodwill, meaning, and beauty. And from Romans chapter 12, verse 16, live in harmony with one another. Amen.
And I want you to imagine that this next song is being directed at you from the divine.
You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take. Bless the progress that you make, the reason you live.
is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things.
Oh, the people you will know, and the places you will go. Don't worry when or where or how. You just have to know that now you're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just rejoice in this day too. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing.
You will do amazing
things. Amazing, amazing.
You will do amazing things.
You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and
Smile, amazing, amazing.
You will do
Amazing things. Amazing, amazing.
You will do
Amazing things. Amazing, amazing.
You will do amazing
Things. Amazing, amazing.
You will
Do amazing.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, CSL singers. When I was in seminary a few lifetimes ago, seems like that, actually, it's just a few years ago, I had a class on planting a church. That means starting it from scratch. And it made me so grateful to have, at that time, Unity of Metairie to return home to and to carry on that ministry. In 2012, something amazing happened with CSL, Center for Spiritual Living, which had their annual convention in New Orleans in 2012. And what was two different CSL factions, United and International CSL, blossomed into one CSL, churches known worldwide. But more important than that, Reverend Larry Marie Heil found out that there was no CSL church in Southeast Louisiana. And she was going to change that. And she did. A planter, a sower of seeds, a courageous woman. I learned of Larry Marie Heil from our mutual friend Angela Davis, who in 2012 and years before had been leading the study group at the Healing Center on Rampart Street in New Orleans. And Reverend Larry Marie held services there, and I attended those. And the atmosphere that she created, as well as her message, was so warm and wonderful and comforting. So she continued at the Healing Center in New Orleans for a couple of years. And one time we spoke, and I found out that she was taking a bus from the New Orleans airport to downtown New Orleans to do her services and back again. And sometimes, if there was not too many hours between the bus arrival at the airport and the plane taking off, she'd stay at the airport. So one day I said, you know, I have a home and I have a spare bedroom. You could really come and we could bless each other in my home. And she did that. But we both heard this go west seasoned woman, go west. And we were both drawn to roots in Baton Rouge. My godmother lived in Baton Rouge, as most of you know, and we visit her. And Reverend Larry Marie, as most of you know, was born and raised in Baton Rouge. So from 2012, 2013, she began this gradual calling to Baton Rouge and had her first service at the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge and stayed there for a while, 2013 into 2014, and then opened her Center for Spiritual Living in the upper room, the archives building, and that was Mother's Day of 2014. Every Sunday, she went from a service once a month at the Renaissance, in person once a month, and online or conference call the other Sundays of the month, and until 2014, where she opened up the upper room of CSL at the church in the archives. That was in August of 2014, where she stayed until 2017, when she opened the CSL church on the Airline Highway Service Road. In 2020, COVID shut that building down, but it didn't shut down her spirit and the spirit of all of you that have stayed faithful to CSL. She overcame, you triumphed. What an honor it is for Unity Baton Rouge to host this 10-year anniversary of Center for Spiritual Living of Southeast Louisiana. So let us warmly welcome Reverend Larry up to the microphone.
Oh, I need to take a breath. I do want to thank our readers, Gloria, Nye, and Richard, and our musicians, the CSL musicians, and Jude, for support and for all the lovely music. Today's a birthday. And our message today is about celebrating a decade of our community being in existence and living in love and joy. Laura Lisa's already told you most of the story here. But mine wasn't going to be a pulpit ministry. I sat in that audience in New Orleans and went to bed that night and dreamed. It was a dream that was, I had a pulpit ministry in Louisiana. And I got up the next morning and told all my fellow ministerial students, oh, I had the funniest dream last night. You won't believe what I dreamed. And the next night, the same dream. The next night, the same dream. By Friday, I finally started bargaining with God. Okay, I tell you what, I'll consider it if I just don't have to have that same dream every night. So I got home, got on the plane, went home, got into my car, turned on my 5 CD player that randomly selects songs. And you know what was playing? Michael Gott's Surrender. I said, okay, I'm surrendering. I think it's time for me to pay attention. When we surrender to the call, Laura Lisa will tell you, it's not an easy path. The first thing they tell you in ministerial school is if you can do anything else, go do it. And you wonder, it's like, hey, I just enrolled. They're trying to get rid of me already. You know that every time I come here, I have a question for you. So here's your question for the day, and it is in your bulletin. What's the one choice that you can make today to be the change you want to see in the world? Knowing that the heart of the matter is that hearts matter, and that God is love and love is God. What's the one choice you can make today to be the change you want to see in the world? To know that hearts matter and God is love and love is God. It truly is hard for me to believe that a decade has passed. When I was realizing that, it's like, where did those 10 years go? We've faced a whole lot of things that have gone on in these past 10 years. And as a community, I would say that we came through them mostly with love and grace. And at times it was a roller coaster. And for those of you that know me, I don't like roller coasters. I just don't like that up and down feeling. But we've made a joyful landing here today. We have a joint service with unity. We've come together with people that are like-minded. And I hope you'll indulge me for just a minute or two as I trip down memory lane a little bit. Opening weekend was an entire weekend, and there was all kinds of excitement and storming rain. It was like, is this a message? Am I supposed to take this as a sign? The rain was, I'm not talking about drizzle. Y'all know what storming rain in Louisiana means. We were drenched from car to building, and it went off and people showed up, and it was wonderful. And then I decided it's not working in New Orleans. And I prayed on it. I meditated on it. And it was time for me to move back home. And so I moved it to Baton Rouge. And one of my best friends came to help me open the center for our every week services on Mother's Day. Then we had floods in Baton Rouge. Remember the floods? And I thought, what is God trying to tell me now? And I'm thinking, maybe I should go back to Portland. It was a lot easier there when I was just a minister at a other community. Wednesday night services, hey, I can do that. And just about the time that I was thinking, this is really challenging, all the people that were my support system in Portland sent things to help us. This center in Baton Rouge was a divine idea. It wasn't my idea. I was going to do something entirely else with my ministry. And every time I get to that point where I really look at it and think, It's hard. I remember that God's my partner. And the two of us together, well, the infinite plus one together can do almost anything. So I've created a whole new support network here, and I love it. I wouldn't give up my friends and my support here for anything. I was ordained in 2017 officially because in CSL you have to do a certain number of hours before they will ordain you. And that was a wonderful time in my life. We did it at Tom's home. And then the pandemic came, which changed everything for churches and changed the way that we come together. And we had to give up our beautiful space. And once again, it was like God saying, hello, but you're an engineer. You know how to do all this online stuff. And so we continued online. I love that we're able to come here and create some joint events with Unity. And in the affirmation that I provided, it was about changing the world, being the change that you want to see in the world. Because each one of us is an individualized expression of the infinite consciousness. Each one of us. God in us, through us, as us. I hope you listen to those words of amazing things because we're all endowed with all the sacred qualities of God. Love, joy, peace, safety, freedom, whatever it is that we're seeking, it is right within us. And we each have unique gifts to bring forth. I like to think that each person is a puzzle piece of the big one. And if our piece is missing, the puzzle isn't complete. And we have to be the one to bring that puzzle piece to the one. You can be the change. Ernest Holmes, in this thing called Life, wrote this. You have a partnership with the invisible. The only limit is that it must work through us. Life can only give us what we take. The taking is a thing of faith and understanding. I want you to listen to those words. Life can only give us what we take. We have this partnership and offering us a whole feast of things, and we have to go choose what we're going to take. What are you taking from the banquet of the invisible? What are you choosing to pick up? I know that both of our communities live in love and joy, and we all know that there's only one presence, there's only one life. It's God's life, it's our life right now. We say that. Are we taking it into our hearts? Are we recognizing that we're all connected? That there really is only one? There's a world of 8 billion people out there. What do we have to offer? What do we have to give? The question is, can one person really make a difference? So I want to tell you a little story. There was this guy sitting in his room, and he had in his living room, he had a beautiful house on the ocean, and he was watching the ocean waves bring in all these starfish. And they were getting hung up on the sand and not getting washed back out to sea. So from his living room, he could see all of these starfish. And he's thinking, what a waste. All of these starfish are going to die. Well, at some point, he decided to take a walk along the beach, and he's walking past all of these starfish that are dying. And a little ways up, he sees this woman, and she's picking up the starfish and throwing them back in. As far as she can throw them, she's picking them up and throwing them back in. He finally catches up to her, and he says, every wave is bringing in more and more of these starfish. You really can't make a difference. Without saying anything, she picked up another starfish, flung it as far as she could, and she looked at him and she said, I made a difference to that one. It might not look that we can make a difference. And sometimes our differences might seem like they're really small in the big world. But I want you to remember that each of us is a unique expression of God's artistry. You're part of that big puzzle. It's important that you make your contribution because you're irreplaceable. No one else on this planet has your constitution, your style, your laugh, your voice, the way that you express things. You are unique. Nelson Mandela once wrote, vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. And vision with action can change the world. So I'm going to ask you to remember that during the meditation, I asked you, just talk to the divine, ask him, what's one thing? What's one way that I can let your light shine through me? That's a vision. Are you willing to take action on it? That's the real question. Because in reality, each of us has won the mega jackpot. We all think, oh, that would be wonderful to win that. We've all won it already. We are love and light incarnate. We've already won the jackpot. What do you plan to do with all of your gifts? How do you plan to use them? How do you plan to spread them? And don't let fear rule you. I have a saying for fear. It's forgetting everything is always right. Forgetting that everything is always right. Because when we forget that God's in everything somewhere, then we look at the world through eyes of judgment. Oh, that war is terrible. Just look at what's happening over there. And we get ourselves into that space of good and bad. And the things that we call bad, God's in them somewhere. God is in us, as us, through us, in everything. Catherine of Siena said, be who God meant you to be, and you will set the world on fire. I don't know about you, but I want to set the world on fire. So I try every day to be who God meant me to be. I like to think about when we squeeze an orange, we get orange juice. And when we squeeze a lime, we get lime juice. When we squeeze a lemon, we get juice. What happens when you get squeezed? What comes out? What happens when you get squeezed? I know sometimes when I get squeezed, it's not all love and joy that comes out. Yeah, it's like, oh, my grumpy soul or my angry part or whatever. But it's important to think about what's inside of you. Do you remember when you're getting squeezed that you have a partnership with the invisible? Do you remember that love and joy is flowing through you? It's in there somewhere. Is that what you want to have come out? Do you want to create good for yourself and for others? I would imagine all of us do. John F. Kennedy said that one person can make a difference and everyone should try. I think sometimes we think we have to be Mother Teresa or Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela, Thomas Edison, Michelangelo. We don't have to be those people. One person impacts so many lives. Think about how many people you've been in contact with in the last week. Grocery stores, here in the community, your family. Who you are impacts each one of those people. We can make a difference in the world. What's the cutting edge for you of expanding who you are and who you can be? When I was creating this community, the question that I kept asking myself is, do I believe that I can make a difference? And I came down to, well, it's God's idea. I guess I can if I just trust enough. Can I make a difference? So I would ask you to ask yourself that question. Do you believe that you can make a difference? And hey, if the answer is no, why not? Why don't you think you can make a difference? Do you not believe that we're the place where God shows up? I think you do. So you don't have to be Mother Teresa or some amazing person. All you have to do is step up and contribute what is yours to contribute. I've used this quote before with my community, and I love it. It says, I'm the only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can. You have a little blue card, and I put some of these quotes on it. And also on the back is the peace be unto you, stranger. God has much greater things in store for you than you can ever imagine. I would have never had a vision of me being a pulpit minister in Louisiana. As much as I love it, it wasn't my vision because it was God's vision, much bigger than I would have played my part. And yet, I surrendered to the call. Today, probably you need to surrender to whatever is your call. John O'Donohue used to say that when one flower blooms, spring awakens everywhere. When you blossom, spring awakens everywhere. Everything you see takes on a different view. And love heals. I said at the beginning that the heart of the matter is that hearts matter. Your heart matters. Because love is how we're going to heal the world. Love is how the world is going to change. And if you're in one of those modes of thinking, I can't believe that just happened to me, here's a great question. How might I see that differently? Or how might I see where God is in that? Or if I can't see that God is in it, how might I know that God's in it so I can see it differently? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I invite you to have a personal encounter with the truth of who you are. Try that this week. You know, I joined a Course in Miracles group a couple years ago, and I had dabbled in it since the 1980s. It was one of those open the book and see what it wants to tell me for today. I used to do that a lot. But I went through it from day one all through day 365. And then this week we're doing another group of the book, and it's been wonderful for me to expand my spiritual territory and also to remember some of the things that it's important to be able to look at things differently, to be able to bring about forgiveness instead of judgment, to remember that everything is either love or a call for love. And my community knows that I talk about that a lot. And when it's a call for love, and we are not at our best self. Sometimes we call back for love. But what's going to heal this planet is when we see a call for love, we are love. We are that God that is love. Because the more you give love, the more it's accessible to you. Have you ever noticed that? Especially see it with your grandkids. They love to be loving. So when you get squeezed and something wants to come out of you like anger or frustration or unkind words, I want you to remember PB&J. And I'm not talking about peanut butter and jelly. I'm talking about pause, breathe, and joyfully pray to see it differently. Pause, breathe, and joyfully pray to see it differently. Reframe it. Notice that you're bumping up to one of your edges, and it's a way for you to have a lesson to expand who you are. That God is calling you to say, I'm giving you a little squeeze here. I'm just checking to see if love's coming out. We don't have to change the whole world, just our part of it. And there's a great poem. Again, John O'Donohue, I love him as a poet. And I think it's a way that we can live another decade of love and joy in our communities. It's only 4 lines. I want to live like the river flows, carried by the surprise of its own becoming. I want to live like the river flows, carried by the surprise of its own becoming. Thank you for letting us come and celebrate here in your community. Thank you for recognizing that indeed you know that one person can make a difference. Remember that starfish lady. And just remember, when you feel squeezed, remember P, B, and J. Thank you.
Thank you. We gratefully put ourselves into the divine flow, experiencing the blessings raining down on us through the windows of heaven by giving. We're not passing the basket. You're welcome up to the offering plate here or at the back door. And if you're donating from home, please use the donate button. And I want to say, if you are here as a member of the Center for Spiritual Living or visiting as someone that is supporting Center for Spiritual Living, please write on your envelope. You should have received a blue envelope. Does anybody need an envelope? You should have received one at the door. Janet's going to pass one around to you. And if you are here as a member of Unity Baton Rouge or visiting Unity Baton Rouge, please use our regular tithe envelopes or make your check out to Unity Baton Rouge. Both spiritual communities need your generosity. And we are going to now join in our offertory affirmation, which is up on the screen. Would you please join me? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. Thank you, God. And if you are splitting your tithe, I know that our bookkeeper, Janet, would really appreciate it if you do that yourself. However, if you really need, then denote on your envelopes or your check which portion goes to which spiritual community. And now we'll have the CSL singing for the offertory.
This is a song Bill wrote several years ago, kind of adopted it.
From the love of her spirit within me, we bless this gift. I send it forth to heal, bless, and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me, multiplied abundantly. From the love of your spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal, bless, and prosper. It does its work in the world and returns to me, multiplied abundantly. So it is, so it is, so it is. You were going to call in the children.
Yes. So children, come on in. Where's our Jude? Bill, you got our children's song? We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God. Come on, Reese. As the love, we are walking as the love of God. As the love, 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 as the love of God.
Good morning. Thank you.
Morning.
Today we did a lesson about harmony. We learned about working together with others and the importance of each role that God has chosen for us. Just like instruments and music, our differences can create divine order in the world. Okay, so we have some affirmations. Let's see, Reese. I work well with others.
I work well with others. God gave me an important role to play.
Oh, you have two.
And our differences create harmony.
Do you want to tell everybody what you made today?
Today we made these shakers. Me and Reese both have different things inside. I have rice, he has beans.
Okay.
So we're on lesson 298, and it is all fears in the past and only love is here.
Out of the 12th house, we chose love, the ability to attract beauty and desire.
Woohoo!
Okay. Just like a leaf that's been blowing in the wind, and where it happens to fall, no one at all can plan. Just like I kicked around before you told me where I belong, that's when my song began. I thank you for the love you've given me. I only wish that you could see what I see. I've got the best seat in the house. I've got the most beautiful view. You can imagine how it feels just standing here looking at you. I've got the best seat in the house. Week after week, I look at you and try to be the best I can be, knowing you'll see me through. I swear I'll never take your love for granted. I never trade the dreams that you've made come true. It's sweet to know we're growing closer every year. With all my heart, I hope you'll keep this place here. I've got the best seat in the house. I've got the most beautiful view. You can imagine how it feels just standing here looking at you. That's what I love to do. I've got the best seat in the house. I've got the most beautiful view. You can imagine how it feels just standing here looking at you. I've got the best seat in the house. I've got the best seat in the house. And it's the truth.
Okay, don't leave yet. We got cake. It's a huge cake. So stay and join us for potluck. A couple of announcements. Reverend Edwene Gaines prayer group is next Sunday at 10 a.m. And the Shining Shadow Retreat, remember, you can register now if you haven't already, October 14th through 16th. That'll be hosted by myself and Unity Baton Rouge and featuring Reverend Edwene Gaines. Yes. Friendship Sunday is in 2 weeks, October 9th, and the dear one bringing the most friends on that date wins a free registration to the Shining Shadow Retreat. And we have an open mic night coming up on November the 5th at 7 p.m. Come and share your music, poetry, and divine ideas with your spiritual community. Finally, our racial equity ministry, which meets at 4 p.m. on Saturday, is restructuring. We will meet definitely this coming Saturday at 4 p.m., but we're talking about what activities we are going to be doing in the future. And we've contributed to legislative changes, which is wonderful. And we've marched and we've done some really loving, wonderful times with that racial equity ministry. So we invite you to be a part of that and learn more about what's going on. 4 p.m. next Saturday on the Zoom link that goes out every Wednesday. And that's the same link that will take you to our board meeting. Our once a month board meeting is at 2 p.m. today. So you have plenty of time to nosh and to get home and to Zoom in to our board meeting. Every member is welcome there. And for CSL announcements?
We have a bit of interfaith events every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. We have a meditation and a sharing. It's on Zoom. The second Friday of the month, we're starting fun nights. And so just join us to play and enjoy community time with people that are like-minded. Also, I just want to mention in your bulletin, it talks about an interfaith harvest dinner and auction and a joint Christmas service with information there. So we'll be back at Unity joining our communities together over the holidays. So that's great. So,
And Richard just reminded me that chronic healers that are usually here on the first Sunday of the month will not be here next Sunday. They will be participating in the Sun Moon Healing Festival.
so I'd just like to say, may you be wrapped in the arms of loving kindness. And may you be the change you want to see in the world. May you know that whatever is squeezed out of you is always love and joy. And we have a couple closing songs today. We're going to start with Alive, Alive.
So let's be alive and stand up.
So let's stand up. Alive, alive, alive forevermore. My spirit is alive, alive forevermore. Alive, alive, alive forevermore. My spirit is alive. Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah. My spirit is alive forevermore. Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah. My spirit is alive. It's alive, alive forevermore. My spirit is alive, alive forevermore. Alive, alive, alive forevermore. My spirit is alive. Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah. My spirit is alive forevermore. Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah. My spirit is alive.
And our peace song. Let
Yeah, it's
there
coming.
be
It's
peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, we're a family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now we eat cake. But first, we eat our veggies.